My friends, thank you so very much for watching this video. We are winning the war to save pop culture from the cultural vandals that assail it, but we need your help. Please subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell, and from time to time check to make sure you haven't been unsubscribed by YouTube without your knowledge. It happens to random subscribers every day. I also started listing links to all my videos and live streams for free over at patreon.com/doomcock, and you do not have to be a member to view them. They're visible to the public for free. Thanks also to all of you who liked our videos and sent us a tip by clicking the super thanks button, and as always I promise to answer each and every super thanks I receive. Thanks for watching everyone, and now on to the video. My friends, buckle up before you watch this video, because the information I'm about to present to you with the help of my special guest is going to blow your minds. Those of us in the know have long been suspicious of Hollywood in general and the Walt Disney Company in particular when it comes to manipulating public opinion and giving a, shall we say, overly positive impression of the performance of movies, profits, and public opinion. For example, back when Captain Marvel was in theaters, it was alleged, and some believe it was proven in their minds, that Disney was buying up blocks of seats in theaters in order to give the impression that the theaters were sold out and that Captain Marvel was a brave and stunning success. I saw that movie and thought it sucked the peanuts out of elephant shit, an opinion many shared, but definitive proof nevertheless remained elusive. Well, my friends, the YouTuber known as Master of the TDS has uncovered evidence that strongly suggests, if not proves, that Disney is using bots to manipulate public opinion on Twitter X and possibly other social media platforms in a manner so stunningly brazen and poorly executed, it blows my mind. You know how Disney and other companies accuse us fans of review bombing movies on Rotten Tomatoes? If what I'm about to show you is the evidence I believe it to be, then this is a case of who smelt it, dealt it, because it sure seems like Disney is using the very bot technology they accuse us of using when we express our hatred of their crappy movies and shitty shows. Obviously, from a legal standpoint, what you're about to see is not evidence of wrongdoing that would stand up in a court of law, but in the court of common sense and personal opinion. After reviewing this data, I personally am convinced that this is evidence that Disney is using bots or hiring a company to use bots to promote their interests and manipulate public opinion. By the end of this video, I believe you'll be convinced of that as well. And on that note, I welcome to the show Master of the TDS, who has brought us a tip of the data iceberg he has gathered. Thank you for being here with us today, my friend. Let's get right into this. This has been a very interesting situation that has arisen in the last few days, and I wanted to cover this situation with you here. Now, what we've got here is we've got some tweets that were gathered by my guest named Master of the TDS, and the first tweet that started this was from somebody named Moodle Zoop. I have no idea who this is, but that's irrelevant. They posted this tweet. Corporate profits are still the top concern of investors. Disney shares rose 11.5% after the company reported profits that exceeded analysts' expectations and raised its upcoming revenue forecast. Shares of chip maker and designer ARM jumped 47.9% thanks to higher than expected profits and an optimistic business outlook. However, the 10-year U.S. Treasury bond yield increased to 4.16% at the end of February 8th. Now, were you as bored by that as I was? Well, of course you were, ladies and gentlemen, because it's boring, but it's really interesting. I want to just analyze this before I bring on our guest here, Master of the TDS, and just say, why, in this tweet, is Disney equated with ARM? This is a very interesting thing. There's not a natural linkage here, folks. There's not one, but it'll become clear to you in a minute. And then nailing this thing about, however, the 10-year U.S. Treasury bond yield increased to 4.16% at the end of February 8th. Yawn, boring. But what my guest discovered is not boring, not in the least. It is proof positive, ladies and gentlemen, at least in my eyes. I mean, I guess it would have to be proven in a court of law. But to my common sense, just pure observation, I reviewed these tweets. This looks highly suspicious. All of this looks like bot activity to me. And I'm going to bring on Master of the TDS to go ahead and discuss this with you all. Master of the TDS, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
This is really something that took a lot of patience and analysis to gather, because it seems, and folks, by the end of this video, I believe that you're going to be convinced, as I am, that this is highly suspect. It is not necessarily definitive proof, but oh my God, I mean, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, and I'm choking here. Master of the TDS, look at this shit. This is kind of mind-blowing. Point out some of the salient elements that led you to believe that this is bot activity.
Well, the first thing I would take a look at is if you look right at what it was posted very recently, but not just that. If you look at the view count for the tweet is 1.5 million views. And on Twitter and X, that's not that easy to achieve.
No. And it's such a boring tweet, too. I mean, such a boring fucking tweet. I don't even know. But 1.5 million views. Go ahead.
And then you'll see that it has 380 likes, which, again, if we're looking at this tweet, the ratio doesn't make any sense.
No, not at all. I mean, 380 likes versus 1.5 million views. Something is hinky. I've seen things like this on YouTube, for example, but go ahead.
But the biggest thing we can look at here is actually, you'll see this one page and you're thinking, okay, is this all it is? Well, no. If you'll look first off, each account that's responding to this one are paid accounts. So they're not just regular accounts, they're paid accounts. They all have the blue check mark. And all of them are saying some variation of basically praising Disney and ARM and saying how their stock is going up and that things are good, but there's still a little bit of a cause for concern with the increase of the bond yield. But This is not just one page of tweets.
Oh, no, it is not. In fact, it looks to me, look at this. This is page 2, and these are tweets that you aggregated and went ahead and presented so we could break this down. 3, 4, 5, 6, and all of them have blue check marks thus far. 8, 9, 10, and we're going to get to the redundancy here that really sells it for me, folks. But I just look at this. 12. Look at this work. Master of the TDS, you did an excellent job in tracking this shit down. I think it feels like busted to me. 16 slides worth of this stuff, and all of it is insanely repetitive. It really is like the kind of AI word salad that you get from time to time, where they're just rephrasing a few core concepts that were pioneered in this Moodle Zoop thing. They just keep saying the same shit. For example, this is a very common one here. Kendrick NFT says, wow, Disney profits exceeded expectations. Really? How about that? Isn't that funny? Because we go over here. Wow, it's great to see Disney and AIM performing so well. Wow, it's great to see Disney and AIM reporting strong profits. Disney's strong profits bring joy to investors. Great news for Disney and AIM. Their profits exceeded expectations. Disney and ARM post impressive profits. It's just insane, dude. Over and over again.
And we have to clarify, this is not just a bunch of posts that I happen to find and put together. These are all responses to the same post, the original one from Moodle Zoo.
So this is all just a thread. This is one thread, and all of these bots or suspected bots or alleged bots are echoing it in a not terribly original or or opaque way. I mean, it's so transparent. It's kind of pathetic. Wow, it's great to see Disney exceeding expectations. Wow, Disney's profits exceeded expectations. Disney and ARM's profits exceed expectations. Wow, Disney profits exceeded expectations. This is pathetic.
Yeah, definitely is.
Were you surprised when you saw all of this?
So I was already looking into this stuff. I've been looking into it for quite some time, and I had already gathered a bunch of information, and I'd already been speaking with some people on it to verify it. But they asked, okay, well, we're going to need something a bit more significant than that. So I was spending a lot of time looking for this, and I stumbled across this using the same methods that I used to find other ones, because there's more coming, guys. There's a bunch more. But this is specifically about their stock, and I felt like it was a good one to lead with because of the amount of interaction from blue checkmark accounts. But again, remember, this post has 380 likes and 1.5 million views with 200 people responding. One of the things I want to mention is people might look at this and go, so there's something going on here, but what is it? Well, let's clarify it. So each of these accounts have a blue check mark, which means that at minimum, they're paying for Twitter Blue. Now, what that mean? $8. Okay, so all these accounts are paying for that. And this is just one thread. So imagine that there are tons more threads in the future or in the past similar to this. So there's a bunch of accounts out there that are being paid for by someone who it is we don't know. And these accounts are going out there and boosting certain posts. But here's the kicker, and this is my current theory with what's going on here. I think this is not them paying $8. I think this is them paying for Premium Plus, which is $15. Now, why would I think that? Because Premium Plus unlocks one thing that other accounts do not have, and that is reply boosting. Meaning that if you reply and you have Premium Plus, your comment gets pushed up to the top. Meaning that everybody else's comments, if they're not premium or they're just regular premium, they're at the bottom while you get to take to the top. And as we see here, imagine if every single account that we're looking at has that same kind of thing, $15. They're boosting this post, which would explain the 1.5 million views. And also, someone is paying at least $15 per account. And for all we know, there are tons more of this.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. And the obvious artifice of these posts is what just leaps out at me. The lack of misspellings, the complete sentences, no sentence fragments, no jokes, no puns, no contrary statements of Disney sucks or Duck Fisney or any of the kind of shenanigans or nonsense that are typical and normal in social media. This thing is absolutely artificial as hell. It's astonishing. And also notice this construction, folks. This is important. You've got all this stuff. You've got, laying out this Disney situation. Then, for some reason, jumping over to ARM simply because they're very successful and Disney seemingly wants to be associated with ARM in this. And then this, however, the 10-year U.S. Treasury bond yield increased to blah, blah, blah. And that construction is echoed in all of these statements. You say, oh, it's so wonderful, blah, 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 but positive business results from companies like Disney and ARM boosted, investor confidence. However, the increase in the U.S. Treasury bond yield is a cause for concern. However, the increase in U.S. Treasury bond yields could pose a challenge for the stock market. However, the increasing U.S. Treasury bond yield remains a cause for concern. But the rising yield on the 10-year U.S. Treasury bond is concerning for the stock market. But rising bond yields create pressure on the stock market, on and on and on. This is absolutely artificial. There is no fucking way. This is not how Twitter works, or X works, or social media works. This is lockstep, cloned messaging by obvious, either people just mixing and matching this shit, or bots that are programmed to basically stay on message, but just jumble it around a little bit, but not enough. I mean, is there anything wrong in my analysis, and what do you think about this?
No, you're not. You're nothing wrong there. I do want to point out one thing also. If you'll notice, not a single one of the accounts are mentioning the numbers again. Not a single one. The only account that mentions the numbers is the first one. So if you were someone looking into this and you didn't see the first post, you would think that Disney and ARM maybe are doing the same. Maybe they're doing that. Wow, they must both be doing amazing. But if you look, Disney only rose 11% and ARM rose 47%. Now, 47 is way more than 11%. But again, they don't mention the numbers. So you're just going to see ARM and Disney are doing well. ARM and Disney is doing well. Wow, ARM and Disney is doing great. But there are no numbers. So you're just going to, if you were someone looking in and you just saw the replies, not the original post, you would have no clue what was going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're just trying the linkage. There's no link between Disney and ARM. It's just that Disney is, wants to be successful. ARM is successful, and they're trying to put themselves in conjunction conceptually with ARM so that ARM and Disney go together like Arm and Hammer, They're just trying to link it. Yeah, I mean, look, here it is again. Wow, Disney's profits exceeded expectations. Disney and ARM. Disney and ARM. It's never ARM and Disney, is it? I don't think it's ever ARM or Disney. It's always Disney and ARM. I wonder who's behind this then. Is it ARM? Would ARM really want to be associated with a lesser stock that's not performing
I don't
well?
think so.
Disney and ARM. Disney and ARM. Disney and ARM. Let's see. Disney and ARM. Disney and ARM. Disney and ARM. Disney and ARM. I mean, it's just on and on and on. Dude, it could not be more painfully obvious. Is this going on all the time? I wonder if there's like a broker house of bots that does this, or if it's Disney, because we've also got this on Madam Web. Look at this. This is. Well, go ahead and tell us what's going on here.
So here, actually, I posted one of these at first because I found it as I was looking. I'm known for dumping tweets on Twitter, so I found this one and thought it was funny. And then someone said, "Hey, did you know that there are more?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh, I saw a couple more." So I went and looked, and sure enough, there were 4 accounts talking about how it's the best movie. Madam Web is the best movie since The Dark Knight. Now, it very well could potentially be the same person, like on multiple accounts saying the same thing, but that's a little weird too.
It's very weird, and you would think that a human being would actually vary the message to some extent. I mean, I don't know what. Well, it's possible it was just a maniac. It's just interesting. I mean, look at this. Madam Web is the best comic book movie since The Dark Knight. Such incredible acting, writing, and editing. Alfredo, Madam Web is the best comic book movie since The Dark Knight. Such incredible acting, writing, and editing. Chase, Madam Web is the best comic book movie since The Dark Knight. Such incredible acting, writing, and editing. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, they're identical, man. This is insane.
And it's not just here. You were mentioning and wondering if it's other areas. I also have some I've been saving for DC. I have DC doing it for a couple things recently. And I haven't even dipped my toe into this yet because it's a huge area. But I've also seen potentially evidence that Netflix may be doing it as well.
So this may be a industry-wide plague, which makes me wonder, is there like a central clearinghouse for bots? A bot central that like rents out whatever kind of bizarre technology this is to, whoever basically wants to do it. If so, this is kind of exposing some kind of secret organization, unless every company has their own separate fake bot department, if that's in fact what these are. I mean, this is not definitive proof, folks. I don't have definitive proof. I wouldn't say that Master of the TDS thinks this is definitive proof, at least not from a legal standpoint, but it sure stinks to high fucking heaven. I mean, how can you come up with any other conclusion other than bots or, employ goons that just echo the talking points, although you would suspect that if these were all humans that are just paid to shill and echo the talking points, would at least vary it to some extent. This has the stink of automation about it, do you think?
Yeah, it does. And also keep in mind, these accounts are available for anybody to go look up. You can see the things here. If you look at these accounts, a lot of these accounts either don't tweet a lot or go dormant for a bit. Especially the main one, Moodle Zoop, I don't think has posted in 2 weeks.
They just come out when they're needed.
Exactly. And then when they get suspended, they disappear. I've seen them promoting politics. I've seen them promoting things like crypto and stuff like that, which a lot of accounts do. But I've seen them promoting politics, other things of pop culture, even other, and I even brought this one up, even like other creators, like smaller industry creators. I've seen that too. Not any people we would know, but like people who are covering things, I guess, more in a positive light. These posts will go and will boost them up too. I can't wait to show more because I actually have these ones are somewhat clever. There are some that I've found that are completely not clever at all. Like, for example, all of them will have quotes before and after. And I'm like, what are you quoting? There's nothing you're quoting. Or my favorite one that I found is one that starts comment : and then has quotes and then says something and ends it off with the quote. Almost like someone forgot to take the comment prompt out.
Master of the TDS, thank you for being on the show. His channel is Gothic Therapy on YouTube. Go and check it out and subscribe. You'll find the link in the video description. Excellent work, my friend. Thank you for coming on the show and exposing this nonsense to the world. I look forward to seeing what you're going to do next.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, my friend. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.